All around America, we have celebrated Juneteenth. But the reality is we all celebrated Juneteenth as a lie. And we all participated in some false propaganda. Because the reality is slavery was never abolished. That's the reality. Actually, I'm going to say that on our page. The reality is slavery was never abolished. If you read the 13th Amendment, it says slavery is abolished except you commit a crime. Hence the convict leasing system. And I once, before you, the man before you, I once was an enslaved African. I'm not talking about an African descendant of a slave. I'm talking about I once was incarcerated working for free. I once was incarcerated working for 13 cents a day, cutting down trees, a full-time job for 8 hours a day for 13 cents a day. I was an enslaved black man in America. That's a fact. So when we talk about Juneteenth, and we talk about our rights, and we talk about Trump versus Biden and the lesser of two evils, do either of your lesser of two evils acknowledge that slavery still exists? Are they willing to amend or abolish the 13th Amendment loophole that says verbatim in front of our eyes, like, this system that we are fighting against is so wicked, so crooked, so manipulative, but they also prey on our ignorance and our lack of intentionality and lack of power. They will tell you to your face. They put it in writing in black and white. Your slavery has not ended. Your slavery is only ended except you commit a crime. And guess who controls the laws and writes the bills that make certain things a crime? And then guess who benefits off the free and cheap labor of that enslavement enacted and legally enacted through those crimes? So when we talk about the Black Rights Party, we talk about standing up for our basic human rights, for our repair, for comprehensive justice and real human rights, non-watered down, non-diluted, non-legislative, politically house of cards, manipulated. No, I'm talking about a pure political movement and soon to be party for the people, by the people. That's what I'm talking about. Right now, who we're voting for in every election is whoever and whatever reflects our best interest. And if nothing reflects our best interest, and no one reflects our best interest, then no one gets our investment. As simple as that. That's business 101. And if you don't think politics is business, you need a political education class. If you don't think politics is business, people say, oh, what are you doing in politics? This isn't business. This isn't real estate. What are you doing? You don't think politics is business? What is Trump doing in politics? Leading the free world. What have all the presidents been doing in politics? What was Dick Cheney doing in politics with all his corporations and all his contracts? If you don't think politics is business, this is why we've been manipulated and politically oppressed. Because our lack of perspective, our lack of political maturity, as Malcolm X said, that we don't think politics is actually business. And we approach it like politics, and they approach it like business, which is why they run circles around us and can literally put in writing that slavery is only abolished except you commit a crime. So slavery never was abolished. Juneteenth wasn't essentially the emancipation of slaves. It was the emancipation of slaves unless they commit a crime, or unless their descendants or their heirs commit a crime, which is us. Hence, the war on drugs, stop and frisk, mass incarceration, the school to prison pipeline, COINTELPRO. Don't y'all get it? I'm talking about a pure political movement. I'm not talking about emotional. I'm very highly politically educated based on our political perspective, not a political education at their schools, that their colleges, that their political governing. I was politically educated by some of the best liberators and freedom fighters in our communities, some of the longest standing elders and freedom fighters in our community. And I'm wise enough to know, and I'm strong enough to be able to stand on my square, even if it means I stand by myself and it's just 2,000 of us. I am not gonna stand by and watch on my shift in my generation us get fooled, this get diluted, and we boil this down to Trump versus Biden, lesser of two evils, when our people are legally being enslaved. And neither two evils will be willing, or have shown to be willing, to stand up for us, but yet we'll still invest with them. How the hell would you invest with somebody that clearly does not have your family best interest in mind. I mean, verbatim and blatantly endorses messages and policies and positions that literally enslave your people. And if you're comfortable with that, that's fine, because this party isn't for you. It's not for everybody. It's only for 20% of us. It might only be for 5% of us. And we're comfortable with that. But for the freedom fighters, for the liberators, for those who are self-determined, those who believe in our ability to, those who recognize that even being free from enslavement isn't independence. We were once independent, free thinking, free governing Africans. Until you govern yourself, you are not free. Because you were free from a chattel bondage, I'm using my hands now, chattel bondage, a chattel enslavement, right? Your hands are cuffed. Because you're free from a chattel enslavement and a chattel bondage did not give you independence to govern yourself. See, when I say freedom, when I say liberation, when we say as the Black Rights Party freedom and liberation, we're not talking about chattel enslavement or even just a convict leasing system. We're saying the right to govern ourselves and control everything that touches our community. And the right to not to ask permission to do it. And the right to not support you if you don't support us. I'm talking about free Black people and their allies. And if that resonates with you, then you resonate with us. If that doesn't, please go back to your plantation mindset and your political master and give them your political equity, your political vote, your political investment in exchange for nothing, in exchange for further enslavement, in exchange for further degradation, in exchange for further political oppression, in exchange for further economic exploitation, in exchange for social degradation. Genius, bright. That strategy's been working. Excellent. To everyone who opposes this message, excellent. What you've been doing, brilliant. It's been working. It's right on point. That same old strategy, boy, you got it. You nailed it. You guys have had it all figured out. You've been in politics all these years, 15, 30 years in politics. You guys have really figured it out. You got something going. You still allow the 13th Amendment to say slavery is only abolished except you commit a crime. Geez, you guys are really liberators. All these years in politics, and you never fought and stood up to totally end enslavement with no exception. So it takes a businessman, a real estate mogul, another type of industry leader to come to posture and have proper power and negotiation and leverage and the right kind of stance, so be it. And it's not just me. We got some soldiers with us, some queens with us, some kings with us. Wait till we launch out and roll out this week. Some real liberators, some real fighters with track records, not for politics. Not track records in music and entertainment. I'm talking about track records for liberation, for freedom fighting, for holistic healing, for self-governing, for self-determination, for standing against the system that oppresses us. This is that party. You resonate with that, you resonate with us. We want you to join us. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Share it. It's the Black Rights Party. We have the right to govern ourselves. We have the right to not ask permission. We have the right to control our vote. We have the right to make demands backed by consequence, consequence backed by power, power backed by leverage. We have that right. We are free African people in America. I'm not talking about just chattel enslavement free. I'm talking about free to make our own self-determination, free to make our own rules, free to make our own stance. We don't have to go with the wave and the crowd and the lesser of two evils that are still evil. We're righteous. Righteousness does not compromise with evil. It's the Black Rights Party. We have a right to be righteous. It's different. So I encourage you all, read our website, please, our manifesto, blackrightsparty.org. I got to get on this plane. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers and kings and queens. I'm just serving my purpose. I swear to you, I told everybody outside of, the Most High assigning me to do this, I don't want to do this. I got a child on the way. I got a baby on the way. I have multiple businesses. I got a whole legacy center, a whole Black house. Listen, I have so much to do. I literally did not want to spend my energy here, and I tried to collaborate with others so they could spend their energy here and I could support them with my resources, with my knowledge, my wisdom, my strategy, my influence. But what I realized is that as I tried to pass the ball and tried to pass the buck, it began to get diluted and distorted. And diverted. And I can't allow that, or I'll be in trouble, because I got to answer to the Most High. And so what I do know is that our people, we're free from chattel enslavement, but we never receive independence. We don't operate independently. We don't govern ourselves. We don't make decisions at the big boy table. We are still under the same system that imprisoned us, enslaved us, dehumanized us. I'm talking about freedom, 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 two freedoms, freedom, freedom. I'm talking about ending the 13th Amendment loophole. I'm talking about long past due reparation, repair, aid, and restitution. I'm talking about controlling every aspect of our community. I'm talking about that part. Read our 12 Bill of Rights, please. BlackRightsParty.org. I'll see you guys there. Love y'all. Be safe.